My name is Manjit Misra. I serve as the director of the Seed Science Center at Iowa State University. And from all of us at the center, many thanks to the International Seed Federation for this opportunity to show the film Seeds, the Diversity of Wonder. The total film is 60 minutes long with 6 episodes. Each episode is 10 minutes. So you will be watching only 2 episodes today, about 20 minutes. Now, the audience for this movie that we had envisioned is the public, the policymakers, and the youth who will become the future leaders in the seed industry and agriculture. So get your popcorn, snacks, and drinks, and be ready to have some fun and learn. But before you do so, Walker Lambert, the director of the movie, and I would like to briefly introduce the movie and why we produced this movie. The International Seed Federation has a motto that seed is life. It is so true indeed. Seeds are the beginning and renewal of agriculture, of all life, of civilization. They are a miracle of nature, and in each tiny seed, there is the splendor and cycle of life. Quality seeds are also a product of science. In fact, seeds were central to the Green Revolution and will be central again to feed, nourish, and heal the world. So seeds are both a miracle of nature and a product of science. To me, seeds are also wondrous. They are so beautiful. They come in all sizes, shapes, texture, luster, and color. They grow in the sun, sleep in the night, and even under the snow, they dream what they will become come next spring. So seeds are not just the beginning, but the renewal of agriculture, of all life, of civilization. This is the message we wanted to convey to the public, policymakers, and the youth in a manner which is storytelling with the value and the contribution of seeds and agriculture to society. As seed scientists and community leaders, we do good work on seed science, technology, and systems. But sometimes we do not communicate the value of our work in a manner which will be received and understood by people that are not scientists. So this is what we wanted to do, to communicate our story in a way which will make sense to the people that are not involved in day-to-day scientific investigations. Now, this movie is dedicated to Mr. David Lambert, who served as a distinguished fellow at the Seed Science Center, who was a hunger fighter and believed that no one, especially children, should go to bed hungry. And he advised us that let this not be just the story of seeds, but the story of people whose lives are intertwined with seeds. So I am very proud to say that Walker Lambert, who directed this movie, has done exactly that. He and his colleagues traveled to Africa, to India, to Iowa, and to various parts of the United States to capture the beauty and the diversity by filming people whose lives are intertwined with seeds. So I turn it over the podium to Mr. Walker Lambert, the director of the movie, for some brief remarks from him. Walker, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Manjit. Always a pleasure to talk with you. And let's see. Seeds are inanimate objects, and they are alive, but they are still an inanimate object. And as a filmmaker, presents a real challenge when trying to figure out how to make a compelling film that can capture an audience and that can tell the story of this inanimate object. Of course, we've all seen time-lapse videos of a seed germinating, so we know that there is a huge amount of potential energy in there, but that doesn't necessarily connect with trying to create a movie unless you simply had a lot of time-lapse on the seeds itself. So from the very beginning, we knew that we needed to look to the people of seeds in order to make a film about seed. And in showing the people of seeds around the world and all their incredible diversity of profession and diversity of place and geography, that we really see how seeds impact our lives in ways both profound and mundane on an everyday basis. And that was a real delight for me as a non-seed expert coming into this, to be able to not only learn about the science of seeds, but to learn about the human face behind the seeds and how everybody from a seed scientist to a gardener to a farmer to a barista to a chocolatier to a brewer, these are all people whose livelihoods depend on the seed itself. And so, and we make that distinction in this movie. Obviously, all plants create fruits and vegetables and things that we eat and use for all kinds of products, but we really wanted to focus here on the seed itself. So when we say a seed product, we're looking at how the seed itself becomes the vehicle for a human story. And so with that, I'm happy to watch these two episodes. One is an episode we did in Zambia looking at biofortified maize, which is ways that breeders and scientists have naturally engineered maize seed to have vitamin A and seriously reduce vitamin A deficiency in places like Zambia, where it's a huge public health crisis. And we're also going to look at a more tongue-in-cheeky, lighthearted one called A Day Without Seeds, where we talk with a renowned seed author and naturalist who gives us what a day might look like if we didn't have seeds in our lives. So Manjit, if there's anything else, please. Otherwise, I think we can begin.
Yes, let us begin.
Seeds are everywhere. Nature, food, spice, industry, energy. Seeds are where we notice them and where we don't. They can travel thousands of miles. They can sleep for years before waking up. Their wildly diverse shapes, sizes, and landscapes are designed to bring life everywhere. The story of seeds is the story of the miracle of nature, but also the story of human innovation.
Seeds are not just the beginning, but the renewal of agriculture, of all civilization.
The people of seeds, farmers, scientists, breeders, cooks, public servants, clothiers, gardeners, dreamers. A grand collaboration between humanity and nature to feed, clothe, and beautify the world. Come on a journey into the miracle of nature, into human imagination, into the wonder of seeds.
Kafu Village, outside Lusaka, Zambia. Every spring, farmers harvest maize for the year. But what if they were also harvesting medicine for their children? Catherine Chumbala Njema has been farming white maize for most of her life. It's the lifeblood for most Zambians, and many eat it in every meal as a thick porridge called nshima. Each month, these women farmers get together for a community lunch to discuss nutrition for their families. For smallholder farmers like Catherine, the maize harvest will yield her family's food for the entire year. But white maize comes with a cost. It has little to no vitamin A, an essential micronutrient for a healthy life. Missing vitamin A is sometimes called hidden hunger, and it's particularly pernicious with young children, causing weak immune systems, stunted growth, and night blindness. In Zambia, over half the population suffers from it. The Zambian government has tried to combat it by distributing vitamin A supplements. This is not a sustainable solution. Nor do the people here have the money to buy vitamin supplements for their families.
Because in Zambia, we don't have money. So all of us, we are not eating vitamin A. So because I can say here in Zambia, food is number one, shema is number one.
Zambia's heavy reliance on a single crop led scientists to consider if seeds could provide a solution to hidden hunger. If breeders could develop a maize seed naturally high in vitamin A, then it would itself become a type of medicine. The largest national health crisis could be curbed by people simply eating their nshima. Scientists and breeders have been developing ways to breed maize with high levels of vitamin A. They call it biofortified maize. Harvest Plus, an international organization at the forefront of the effort to biofortify foods, was founded by the World Food Prize winner Howdy Buis.
Well, biofortification is the process, in our case, of using conventional plant breeding to develop high-yielding, high mineral and vitamin content plants, staple food crops, for production and consumption in developing countries.
David Samazaka has been breeding vitamin A maize for many years. The key is finding the right populations to cross from the millions of varieties of maize. The crossed lines need to be high in vitamin A, need to taste good, and need to be high yielding. At the core of this breeding process is developing lines of maize that are genetically consistent for particular traits, such as high in vitamin A. Scientists call these lines homozygous.
These are lines that are completely homozygous. They look weak, sick, and little. Even the kernels are small. The principle in breeding and genetics is that when I mate or cross two completely distinct lines that are homozygous, I'm going to get what is called hybrid vigor. Meaning the offspring that is going to come out of here is going to be better than the parents. And that is what we call a hybrid.
This hybrid is called orange maize because the presence of vitamin A leads to an orange color,
as in sweet potatoes and carrots. Developing a naturally biofortified seed can take scientists and breeders years, sometimes decades. But in the end, when done well, it can yield a type of medicine seed that leads to a vigorous, high-yielding crop containing, for example, the vitamin A needed to stave off hidden hunger. That is, if people eat it. Breeding orange maize seems easy compared to getting people to adopt it into their diets. The problem lies in its color. People in Zambia have been eating white maize for generations. The orange maize looks strange or even rotten to many of the people it's designed to help. Despite these hurdles, Catherine has become an early adopter. More vitamin A in her family's diet leads to a healthier family. It's part of why she and her neighbors gather together to talk about the benefits of orange maize despite its color, and to help convince other farmers to grow it. The women here make delicious dishes out of the orange maize to show off its flavor. One of the children's favorites combines crushed peanuts with the new maize, a complete, super healthy meal of carbs, protein, fats, and micronutrients. Of course, for orange maize to have a national impact, it has to be accessible to everyone. Eliab Simpungwe works to secure orange maize into the commercial seed production cycle.
There were 3 orange maize varieties that were released in Zambia, which we licensed to private seed companies to improve the distribution of these seeds. Now, we believe as a Harvest Plus that if we increase the consumption, utilization of orange maize, we shall be having impact on the vitamin A status of the consumers or the population in Zambia.
As farmers produce more orange maize and seed companies increasingly distribute it, it also becomes available to food companies looking to improve the nutrition of their packaged products. Sylvia Banda has done just that as part of her company, Silva Foods. They aim to make healthier baby food using vitamin A fortified maize. Recently, she has started making all kinds of products out of orange maize.
We said we have done very well with the vegetables, but what goes with the vegetables? We knew that it has to be starch. When the orange maize came on the market, we jumped because we wanted to use the product which has the nutritional aspect of it, together with the vegetables also, which we worked on the nutritional part. We knew that once we put it together, it will help, solving a lot of malnutrition in our country.
Sylvia's products are available in stores across Zambia. Vitamin A maize can become part of the diet for everyone. This kind of buy-in from all sectors is the hope of all biofortifiers.
My vision 30 years from now is that a grandchild will be eating orange maize, will only know orange maize, and she'll say to her grandmother, "Oh, I heard somebody say there used to be such a thing as white maize. Was there really such a thing as white maize?" And the grandmother will explain, "Yes, when I was a child, most of the maize was white. We used to eat white maize." Carrots used to be white. People have forgotten that. Now actually carrots provide something like 30% of the vitamin A intake for the U.S. population. So I want the same thing to happen for maize. We're just getting started, but that's my vision 30 years from now.
Seeds are seemingly designed to allow farmers, scientists, and breeders to solve problems like missing vitamin A. Breeding vitamin A into maize seed is, in a sense, making maize into medicine. And with women like Catherine and her neighbors helping everyone to understand the upside of orange maize, more and more people will naturally get all the vitamin A they need. a perfect collaboration between humankind and nature.
What a wonderful thing this is, that we can breed maize that is so rich in vitamin A and place it in the hands of the farmers and have them grow all this crop that our children will eat and grow up without vitamin A deficiencies, the stunting problems, poor visions, poor cognitive abilities, poor immunities, all these things gone because of nutritious seed.
We are lucky we had orange maize, and we're happy, and we want many people to eat orange maize with vitamin A so that they can benefit children, old people, everywhere. We can be happy. Yes.
It's easy to imagine how different life as we know it would be without water, or oil, or plants. But how about a day without seeds?
I think one of the ways to tease out how dependent we are upon seeds in unexpected ways is to try to imagine a day without seeds. And you quickly realize that it would be a pretty crummy day.
Tor Hansen has been thinking for a long time about how the biological traits of seeds have made them so essential to us. His day without seeds is unusual from the get-go.
You'd wake up on a bare mattress, right? I mean, you wouldn't have pajamas on, you wouldn't have any sheets, because of course those are all made from cotton, which comes to us, from the elongated cells of the seed coat of a plant in the mallow family, the cotton plant.
We turn those elongated cells into fabric, but the plant uses them to get around. The fibers catch the wind to carry the seed away from the plant, and then gives it buoyancy to travel long distances on the water. Cotton seeds have floated all the way to Hawaii, the most remote islands in the world.
So that biological need for dispersal of the cotton plant has given us the clothing that we wear, our pajamas, the sheets on our bed. So to get back to your day, you're off to a crummy start because you are on a bare mattress, and then you get up and you think, well, God, I'll have a shower at least. And well, you can still have your shower, but you can't dry off.
The day continues when Tor heads to the cafe for breakfast. But of course there's nothing to eat, as almost every breakfast food comes from seeds. Bagels, oatmeal, toast, cereal, even croissants.
At least I can have a cup of coffee. No, you can't. You can't have your cup of coffee because, of course, the coffee beans are the seeds of this shrubby little African tree that are now the second most traded commodity in the world, the coffee beans.
The coffee bean's popularity comes in part from its uniquely bitter taste, but much more importantly, from the seed's defense strategy, a natural pesticide.
If you want to say thanks for your morning cup of coffee, you shouldn't thank Starbucks or the local barista. You should be thanking various slugs and snails and fungi and shot borer beetles and all of these various things that attack coffee seeds, because it is to defend against them that the coffee plant came up with caffeine.
Having had no breakfast or coffee, it's time to drive to work. But without seeds, this is now a more expensive proposition. Corn is a seed made largely of starch, a sugar easily converted to an alcohol called ethanol, which is blended into gasoline.
And again, it relates to that biological invention of having energy in that seed. And if you have energy in there for a baby plant to grow, that same energy can be converted into energy to drive a car.
When it's time for lunch, seeds will be used in the preparation of the food in more ways than you might think.
In modern agriculture, a lot of animals are fed on grains, whether it's chickens or whether it's grain-fed beef, for example. Seeds, again, part of that process in a big way.
Not only will the seeds be used to feed the animals we eat, but they'll also be used to make the food taste better.
There are all these seeds that we don't even think about that are right there when we sit down at the table. But if you want that spicy jolt from black pepper, you're relying on a seed.
The pungency of pepper is produced by pepperine, a natural chemical that, like caffeine, protects the seed from bugs and fungus. Of course, if Tor really wanted to spice up his lunch, he'd be looking to another seed.
The chili peppers that we are familiar with from any Tabasco or any sort of hot sauce and in all their splendid varieties now.
The chemical in chili pepper seeds fools the nervous system of mammals into thinking they're on fire.
Mice, which would otherwise love to eat hot peppers, they like the fruits, they like the seeds, they'd eat it all, are turned off by this burning sensation because the capsaicin fools the nervous system into thinking that the cells are being damaged by fire or heat. We seem to be the only mammals that have overcome the aversion to being burned and have learned to crave this stuff as a spice. A day without seeds, it becomes so miserable when you realize you can't even have a bar of chocolate. Because that, of course, is another seed product.
Cocoa trees create large rainforest seeds.
It's really a fatty sort of thing, and that's where you get cacao butter.
The fat is the seed's germination energy, but it's also the key ingredient for chocolate.
The melting point of cocoa butter is, maybe 96, 97 degrees, and body temperature, of course, 98.6. So when you have chocolate and you think it's just melting in my mouth, it is melting in your mouth because that is the melting point of the fat that is the basis of it. We don't necessarily think about a seed when we have a chocolate bar, but it is a seed product through and through.
It's been a tough day without seeds. A quick stop at the local pub is in order. Unfortunately, this will be a big waste of time.
One wouldn't think that that was a seed-based experience. Thank you, sir.
But of course, it's an entirely seed-based experience.
Beginning with the very beverage that people are here to seek out.
To make beer, malters sprout barley seeds in order to release the sugars, which are then fermented to give alcohol. From this malt, a brewer then combines yeast and hops to make the beers of the world. Now the third most consumed drink on Earth. All from the seeds of a grass.
Grass seeds, in many ways, fuel the world. The seeds of grasses are grains that give us everything from wheat and rice to corn and barley. And when we get to the latter, you can ferment it and start to make beverages like beer, which is an absolutely seed-based product.
Just like seeds themselves, which can be easy to miss, when we start looking, we see seed-based products everywhere. From the clothes we wear, to the food we eat, to the beverages we drink, to the spices that flavor the world.
At the end of a day without seeds, you would be relieved to crawl back onto your bare mattress and just shut your eyes and get it over with and hope that you woke up again in a world with seeds where you could be cheerful again.
On behalf of the Iowa State University Seed Science Center, I would like to thank you for attending this International Seed Federation Virtual Congress session. As we mentioned, there are 6 parts to this award-winning film about the beauty and diversity of seeds. The remaining episodes can be watched at seeds.iastate.edu.